Good morning guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and having a fantastic day. Sorry my head is cut off. I'm gonna stoop down. I'm just gonna stoop down so you can see me and I can see the camera. Anyway, so today is the other block for our star sample quilt long. I hope everybody is doing well. I haven't really had any sort of negative comments. You all seem to be really enjoying the blocks, and I must say though, thank you for those of you who take the time out to give me a little tip, a financial tip I should say, for getting the blocks together and putting it in the pattern. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's really nice of you to actually do that and appreciate, because it does take some time just to make sure I get everything right, write it all down, type it all out, upload it. So I really appreciate you appreciating me and giving me a little tip for that. So thank you so much. It's small, but I really appreciate it, and I think I more appreciate the value and sentiment behind it, that you see it fit to do that. All right, so thank you very much once again. And as I said, no negative comments. Nobody seems to be not understanding what to do, and everyone seems to be following along quite easily. As I do go a bit slow. I know some people don't like that, but I like to make sure everyone is inclusive and we all can understand and move on together. All right, so today, as I said, is the next block. I will call this a spinning star, and I think you will understand why, because the main middle of the star is it looks like it's moving, and I love that about the star. It is a little bit tricky in sort of the placement for the middle only though. Once you get that right, you will be okay. But as once again, I will take my time and do it slowly so that we all comprehend. Even for myself, for this particular one, it really did play with my mind, so I had to do a very small, just a center block only, a sampler, or a trial, so to say, just to make sure I got it right. I didn't sew it together, but I just made sure and cut it from scraps, and just to make sure I got it right, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be confused. I need to be quite clear in knowing what I'm saying to you. Yeah, the teacher in me, got to be prepared. So yeah, so we're going to move on with that today, and as I said before, the pattern will be again attached, so that it's easier for everyone to get hold of. That is somebody contacting me. So let's get started. Now I am using all of the same fat quarter bundle here. I haven't gone into anything different, as well as the background. I have taken the time to cut it to get myself started, so that way it's easier. I don't have to cut in front of you and the video is not long, and then people are complaining with me, oh, the video is too long and you take it too long. So I sort of cut that out, even though some of you must still complain I'm talking too much. All right, so I'm going to shut up and get started. So all of the sizes are here. This is the smallest block, so we're going to start with this one here. No need to identify the blocks in terms of colors in this instance. Really working with the background, as you know already, is the same background I've identified, which is white with a sort of a light pinkish floral on it, which is very light faded background floral print. Jackson, get out of my bin. Look at you, got fabric all over your face. Why do you insist on going in that bin? Thank you. And again, background here. I'm using two of the same. Did I cut? Oh my God, look at that. I cut different colors. This is purple, this is pink. I wanted purple. Can I push it? It's very close. It's very close on camera, but not. So I'm going to have to decide. Well, I think I'll change it to pink, since there's only one of this. So Yeah, so just make sure you have the two right colors. Don't mix it up. They're quite close, but I really wanted the purple for this block. But I guess I'll go with the pink because I'm going to have to cut. All right, so let me go do that and then we will get started on the block. All right, guys, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with my center block here. And what I'm going to do is the center block is 4 inches squared. All right, so that is the smallest square within the whole block setup. But what I'm going to do is to cut off an inch. I wouldn't say an inch. I'm going to cut off as a slant from point to point. So it's on my mat here within the 4 inches. And I'm just going to take my small ruler and put it from point to point there. So that inch square, I am just measuring the diagonal cut there and simply just cutting it off. I will take a picture of this so that it's easier for you to comprehend. I know sometimes the camera don't always do it justice. Okay, so I'll just take a picture at this particular stage here, just so that it's clearer and you know exactly what you're doing. Okay. All right, so that's that. So that is what it's going to look like, sort of that oblong shape. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. Just take your time and do that. I'm just going to take a picture now so I don't forget. If I don't do it now, then I will forget, and I hate when I do that. All right, so that's done. So what we're going to do now is to take our second size square down. I'm just going to put these at the side there for now. Our second size square down. These are already being cut to the appropriate size, and I'm going to cut them into 4. I'm just going to give it a bit pressed together so it stays put. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do it separately because it's not, just make sure I cut this correct because yeah, it's fine. All right, so what I'm going to do now, cut diagonally, all right, point to point, so that we have those 4 small quarter triangles in place. Again, you know, just get everything all set up, all of the cuts ready, so that way it moves relatively easy and quick and simple, and that way you're not confusing yourself. All right, so that's done. Now this is the part where I was referring to is a bit tricky. Okay, now you can start, we're going to start with the smaller triangles here, and you can start with any color that you like. Remember, we're using 3 colors, so your background and your dominant colors for your star legs. Okay, so I think I'll start with the green, and what we're looking for is to have the tip of the point here to the top line up there, like so. Remember, I'm not very elegant with this when it comes to laying the blocks out. And again, we're going to use the shorter side now and lay it down like so. Again, the next one, the next color, obviously. And what it does, it sort of gives you the angle, knowing that you're going to use this side now to put it in, because you can see that it's already sort of set up the shape for you. So if you try to put it in that way, it's wrong, but if you're going in this way, you can see where it's right. Okay, and again, we're going on with the purple now, and again, we're going to just use that longer side and go in like so. All right, so again, we started with this one here. It's so green you can't even see it on the mat. So with the point sticking up, that goes at the top. Then you have this one here goes in. As I said, it sort of gives you the shape that you need so that you know which one goes in next, or how the shape of the smallest triangles goes in. So again, it sort of gives you that shape. to prepare you. All right, so that one goes in there, and then this one goes in like so. And then obviously we're going for another color again, this one like so, and then this one again. Just give that a little bit of press. I do find that if it's nice and flat, it goes in nicely again at an angle. And hopefully you can see where we're going with this. And this one again goes in this way. And then the last one, again, you can see the shape left there. I'm looking at the screen. I can't even see the green. All I can see is the pink standing out. Okay, and it goes in that way. So again, we started with this one here, and then we went on to this one. And notice, as I said, if I pull this out, you can actually see where it gives you that triangular angle for you to slip it in. So all of them does that for you. So again, you can see that. So in essence, it's telling you how it actually moves. And hence the reason why I said it's a spinning start, because you can see the movement, definitely. All right, so make sure you go with strong, prominent colors that shows off the movement of the block. Right, so the next thing we're going to do now is to take these other, the next size up, and again we're just going to cut them in half. Okay, so we're just going to cut them in half. So I'm going to put this to the side. Hopefully I move it quite elegantly, and I failed at that. Oh gosh. So we're going to cut these in half, but before we do that, I want to show you how to sew this together. So I'm going to cut this in half. Nothing to literally show you on camera, but just simply half. Simple as that. Okay. All right, so we're going to sew this together now. So I'm going to take you through the steps. I've laid it out again on a smaller mat, reason being so that I can simply take this to the sewing machine. Okay, now I'm just going to pull them apart so that you can see what we need to do quite easily. All right, I love doing that. I think it just allows you to bring everything together in your head slowly. So we're going to start with this one here, and all I'm simply going to do is to fold it along this end there. I'm just going to move that aside again, so you're just focusing on this one in the middle. All right, so folding over edge to edge there, flip it. You can let it stick out a little bit, so you're letting it stick out about 1/4 inch on the end there. Let me get my pointy tool. Okay, so you want it to stick out 1/4 inch on the end there. All right, so you're going to sew along there. That's your first stitch. Okay, now in all honesty, you can start wherever you want. All right, if you're going to start, say on this end here, you'll do the same thing. Let it stick out 1/4 inch like so. Okay, however, the trick is wherever you start, don't sew all the way to the end. So let's say you leave about 1/4 inch there open, because you want to be able to fold this one in when you get to this end. You follow me? All right, so either where you start, so let's say for example, as instructed, as I said, to start on this end here, leaving your point sticking out at 1/4 inch, you are going to leave about 1/4 inch away at the end, or even a little bit more. It doesn't really matter. Okay, Jackson, you scared me. Okay, let's just wait till he stops. Are you done? Jackson. Jackson. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what. I'm going to put you in the garden in a minute. Right, so it doesn't really matter the gap, as long as it's bigger than 1/4 inch. And no, I'm not talking about an inch, just enough so that once you bring this one over like so, there is enough for it to be able to stick out there. All right, and is enough for it, because obviously once you sew, this one is going to be, let me give you the picture. This one is going to be like this, okay, but you'll be able to lift it up and bring in this one there, so that once you sew it, it's going to then be flipped out like that. But I will show you as we go along. All right, so let's start on this end here, because it's a difficult one. So let's tackle that now. All right, so I'm going to start on this end here. So all I'm going to do basically is sew from there, from the V there. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that. I'm going to start from the V there and go all the way down, but I'm going to leave myself a gap, so that way I don't go over. So I'm going to use my ruler here just to remind myself, you know, where I want to stop. So I'm just going to go up to there, measuring 1/4 inch from the end. All right, so I can see there that I haven't gone all the way down, so I know to start there. I can probably back stitch and go all the way there. Okay, once I've done that, I am going to just flip over and then continue with the others. All right, so I'm going to do the first one, and then I'll come back, because I think it's important to get it started, and that way you understand. All right, so it's all stitched on now. And so what I wanted to identify here is that the best practice is to put it back in its rightful place, so that you don't get yourself confused. Okay, so you can see my stitch line there. I've left that gap on the side there, and I'm going to fold it back. Again, I'm going to finger press everything. I still haven't found my seam press. I need to look for, I don't know where I've done with it. I'm sure it's somewhere quite easy. All right, so that's what it looks like there. Okay, so the next one now, which is this one, goes in on there just like that. So it obviously hangs over on this side here, which is my pink side, and again I'm leaving 1/4 inch at the end there, and the same thing applies. So I'm going to sew from there all the way down, obviously. Okay, and then I'm going to flip over like so. All right, so we're going to continue with that all the way around, and then obviously once that one is done, we're then going to go to, and before you start sewing the next one, get into the habit of just fitting it back in place, just so that you know it's right. Okay, so just get into that habit. You fit it back in place. So if you've forgotten, start with the first one, making that long extended invisible stitch line there. So bring it in together. It must continue all the way over there. Okay, then remember I said you got a gap there that fits in. All right, I'm going to put you in the garden. Okay, so as I was saying, get into the habit. Once you have made the first stitch, you've put it back in its rightful place. Double check that everything is in its rightful place yet again. And as long as you have stitched it together properly, ideally you shouldn't have any problems, as long as you double check that it's in its rightful place, and it should make the pattern back again. So again, we're going to continue here just like so. All right, and then we're going to go all the way around. I'm going to continue going all the way around, and when I get to this one here, which is the last one, to finish that stitch or that seam there, I will come back and show you what to do. All right, so looking at it now, it's almost completed. I've just got a last triangle here to, well, quarter triangle to add on before I join it on to here with the partial seam. Now what I wanted to point out is that this one must measure up like so. When you get to these corners here, you will be sewing it on at a slant. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so just line it up with the previous one like so, and then stitch it along there. So you will have, as long as you line it up with this one here, so you will have this sort of gap there That is accurate. Don't get confused with it, all right, thinking that you must sort of get it onto that sort of point and curve there, all right. Don't worry about that. As long as you line it up with the previous quarter triangle. Okay, so line it up there, and all you need to do now is just stitch it. So from there, okay, so line up, stitch, and then you would fold it over. Once you stitch it, it will be fine, it will fit in, don't worry about it. Okay, even if you want to move up a little bit so it sticks off there, all right, and then you stitch. Just as long as you've got that extra hang there, you're fine, honestly, because let me show you on the other side where you can see the stitches there where I've done the angle. So once I've done the whole thing, I will definitely show you the back so that it makes sense. All right, so let me go stitch this on, and I'll come back and finish it off in front of you. All right, so we're on to the last seam now. All right, so I just want to turn it to the back so you can see what it looks like. It's a bit untidy, lots of pink thread. I will trim up all the threads just to make it nice and neat and tidy. Hopefully you can see where it's cut across there at an angle every time I sort of bend those corners, all right? So once you get to the last one, you may have to unpick the seam a little bit where you started, just so that it lays flat. So like for example, I can see here, I could go along and unpick that, but I think I will leave it, to be honest. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is fold this one back like so it goes right on that edge there. And then once I've done that, that's my last seam more or less done. Okay, so just fold it back there. You will start where your stitch initially end there. So you put your cord. That's why I don't think it's necessary that I go all the way in the corner there. I'm going to zoom in just so that you understand what I'm saying. All right, so I'm saying basically there's no need to unpick in the corner there, but obviously this is where we left off our partial seam there, so that's where we're going to continue. From there is where your needle needs to start, and you line up and you go all the way down. Okay, and once you've done that, it will hang over like so. All right, and then we give it a good press, and I'll show you how to trim it all up. Alright, so we're going to trim off the little edges now. So I'm just going to take a scissors and just trim around the edges so that it's nice and neat. So all I'm doing is just trimming off so it makes a good little circle there. All those dog hairs, just trim them off. Alright, so that is what we are aiming at. A little bit tricky to start with that, but that's it. I promise you there is no more drama. Alright guys, so we have all the components ready now. So as I said before, I was going to just cut these in half, so I've done that now. And I've got my corner squares here, and I've just scattered them about so I can put them together in front of you quite easily. As it's laid out already, looking at it, you can already see it makes the star pattern. All right, now what I want you to be aware, yes, this was going to come out like looking very circular, but I don't want you to worry about that. Is the pattern, that's how it works. Okay, now I'm going to put this together just as much as we've done the woven quilt. My hands feel cold. Just as we've done the woven quilt. Okay, I'm going to put some lotion on my hands because it irritates me if it feels cold. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so this block is going to be one of the biggest blocks we've had so far. Now, please note, I'm intentionally doing this. I don't necessarily want to work with just making, you know, one size all the time. I do have an idea in my head. Yes, it's going to make the whole quilt bigger, but that's the whole idea of it. So hence I will have some a little bit bigger than the others. All right, so don't worry about that. That's the way I am planning to put it together. Right, so let's get started on this one now. So what I want you to think about, as I said, is putting it together just as we've done the woven quilt. Also, adding all these extra components comes the same way as we've done this particular motion here. The idea is so that you can see the movement of the stars. It looks like it's spinning. That's why the center block looks like that. Okay, again, draw your attention to using the right colors so that it's prominent, so you can see the movement. So we're going to start like we did before. Remember, we had the green there, so again we're looking for that sort of straight measurement going all the way across. All right, and again it gives us the angle there to put in the next subcut. So again, that goes in there. Notice again that is working incongruent with the color that is similar to it. So the green against the green, the pink against the pink. All right, same thing here. The green now slots in to that corner there because it's given the area for it. The pink goes in there. The green again comes in there. So it's quite easy to build. So very much similar in terms of matching up the colors to where the previous one is. All right, so where that previous color is. So again, as you can see, it's quite obvious that that one slides in there, the green just slides in there, and again the same thing, the pink slides in right there next to the pink. It's quite obvious. And again, as you can see, the next objective now is to simply bring in these particular triangles here, and this one goes in there and that one goes in there. Quite easy, isn't it? And then again, with your background, you finish it off by just adding the colors there so that your star can actually pop. Okay, so that is the star come together. Very beautiful, very simplistic, and I hope I have made it a lot more simplified for you. All right, so now you're wondering, well, how on earth do I sew this together? Well, let me separate this yet again so that we can get the visual clear. Okay, because I know that a lot of us, we learn differently, don't we? So these two go together as you would normally. I mean, it's expectant, isn't it? They are the same size, so they will sew together. So front sides together there. Okay, and these two will sew together. All right, once you've done that, I would say continue with all of them the same way. So these two sew together, these two sew together, these two, all the half square triangles sew together quite easily. So I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to sew them and put them together back in the rightful spot so that you can see how to bring the whole thing together in a simplified way so that you're not confused. Okay, so let's sew this together now. Now, before I do that, I just wanted to explain a little bit of a difference to you so that you can have some individual choices. Now, as you're looking at it now, it's not sewn together, obviously. However, these two here have been, all the way around. So I've just put them back in its position so that I don't get anything mixed up, all right? Now, notice that I have the pink matching against the pink here, and that's to be able to see the movement in that star, like spinning in the air. So for example, if you were to throw the star, okay, so you can see that movement. Now if you wanted to, rather than line up the pink with the pink, you can have the larger star legs here as the green, and obviously the smaller one as the blade, and you can mix it around in that instance if you want to. You don't necessarily have to match it, you know, do like for like. You can mix it around. I just thought I'll just pop that in there and give you that option if you wanted to do that. But I particularly like seeing the movement as though the star is spinning. All right guys, but that's entirely a design choice, so that you can make it if you want to. Okay, so let's talk about sewing this together now. So I'm going to pull these two apart here, because I like to do that because it separates the eye and it can make it a lot more clear for everyone. Now as you can see, we're going to start yet again with a sort of a partial sewing. So I'm going to flip this over here, and I'm going to sew and stop where it comes from there to there. So I'm going to flip it over just as I've done when I started the middle. I'm going to let it stick out about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to sew up to this point where it stops. It could be any point. Let me just make that clear, okay? But ideally it would be difficult to go any further, because then you'll have to start angling that this fabric here in order to fit it. So you just go to the end, for example, like so. You go to the end, you start from there, let your 1/4 inch stick out, and you stop there where you see the pink starts to curve. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to line it back up again, pick it up. Notice I've taken this one out of the way so it doesn't get myself confused. And I would like you to do that so that it's easier. And then, you know, as long as the clarity is there, you know exactly what you're doing. I'm going to sew now. Okay, so you can see it's partially sewn on there by me making that movement for you. All right, so the next objective now is simple. You just bring this one in here. Okay, so it goes like so now. All right, I hope that is making very easy sense to you. All right, so I would say finger press it so it lays down. So this one now, you're still matching up that green against the green, and I think I did it that way so that it was easier to comprehend on your side. All right, but as long as you get that straight line going across there. So now we're going to flip it over like so. Again, line it all up so that the 1/4 inch now is on both sides, sticking out at the end there, and you will sew along there as normal, ensuring that if you're using a white background that it's folded towards the darker fabric. All right, and then pick it all up and sew.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
The next objective really is to just sew this one on top there, and you would continue all the way around.
You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby,
Alright guys, so I've come to the end now where I have my last block here to fill in, and now it's relatively easy, so I just need to ensure that it's turned up right yet again. I'm going to flip this back, okay, because I can see where I've left that area, so I can join and line it up just as done before. And you can see it comes right to the edge where the green is there and right to the end there. Line it all up. We're going to press the block once it's done, and then that's it. See if it needs trimming, and away we go. And away we go. Who says that?
You give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
Alright guys, so these are the trimmings you should get off to square up the block nicely. This is a nice big block. Comes up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 inches square. It's a beautiful big block, and here is your spinning star. So it definitely looks like it's spinning. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please don't forget what I said about downloading the pattern. Okay, I thought I'll come on screen for this one. Please don't forget what I said about downloading the pattern. Usually I put about 200 on, and because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware, it's only about, I don't know, 20 people taking part in the so long. If there's more, let me know. That, you know, majority of you are taking part. I know people just see free patterns and they usually just download because it's there. But if you're not taking part, fine. If you are taking part, make sure you get in there quickly, because I can't keep going back and uploading patterns so that people can get it, especially if you're not taking part in the quilt along. All right, but let me know if you've got any questions about the spinning star. I think it's absolutely beautiful, nice and easy, nice big block. And you can definitely see that movement in that star that's turning. So bye for now, happy quilting, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.